Alright, everybody, this will be a warning to you all politicians. I'm running for president 2024, part 108. If you're new to this, quick rundown is if there's enough people who give thumbs up and stuff and like my ideas and write me in 2024, I'll file the official paperwork and officially throw my name out there to run for president. This is an all YouTube campaign, no financing, not asking for money from anybody. You can subscribe if you want, other than not looking for even monetization on YouTube, any of that kind of stuff. Just have a bunch of ideas, and I think the politicians have been running a dog and pony show for a long time. Doesn't matter what party you look at. Tired of the lies, tired of the propaganda, tired of being overtaxed, tired of them wasting our time and money over things like if some guy wants to dress like a woman and declares himself a woman, if he can use the same public bathroom as your daughter or your wife. Bullshit like that. That's common sense stuff. Like, no, you can't. It's just amazing the stuff they try to make seem legitimate, and they put all these wackos on TV and stuff, and anytime you start putting people on, you know, who have PhDs and this and that on TV, coming out for some of this harebrained stuff and everything, it bends a lot of people's minds, and you know, their agendas are just so insane. On what they want to do with traditional American society. It's like we've slipped down into the twilight zone, and there's the politicians and the news media and stuff are so afraid to just come out and say what's right or wrong, because they're pandering for votes. If they just came out and told it like it is and did what they believed in, and made the country the way it's supposed to be for people to be able to function and prosper and raise their families, they'd understand that the percentage of the wackos and the extreme out there is so small. It doesn't matter if you get them to vote. I mean, they're always pandering to this group or that group or anything, you know. And if one of them came out and said, I want to let the white people know I'm going to do, or I want to let the heterosexual people know what I'm going to do for them, you know, the news media would go berserk, and a small percentage of this population would take to the streets, probably like you see doing now. It looks big and blown up because it's on the news media and they put it in your face all the time, and the way the reporters talk and the inflections in their voice, and you know, and the commercials for BLM and all that kind of stuff, and the reporters, you know, raging fires right behind them and everything, and they're going, oh, peaceful. It's been there's some fires burning, but it's been peaceful so far. It's mind-boggling to me. It is just absolutely mind-boggling to me. Do they think you're that stupid, or is this another effort to dumb you down? You know, while they're looting and burning it's a peaceful demonstration. Is this to make you think that's normal behavior? Are they so trying to cover their tracks that they won't even admit that what they're defending is criminal activity and it's bullshit that they're defending it. Is the Democratic Party so afraid to tell the truth that they'll alienate people and not give votes? I just don't get it. Do you get it? I don't get it. I just turned the TV on here, CBS runs this thing about how George Floyd, the death of a man that started a movement and all this, and it's like, the guy was a career criminal and drug dealer. He had fentanyl and methamphetamine in his systems, and they're playing it out as like I don't know, he's some kind of saintly martyr type person or something. I just don't get it. And then on the news they show in Louisville, her Breonna Taylor's family getting $12 million. She was a drug dealer, living with a drug dealer who had guns and drugs going in and out of her house all the freaking time. They found a body in a rental car that she had rented. And the news media plays it off like, she was just and she was a paramedic and this and that. She got fired from being a paramedic. It's probably where she was getting drugs from. And these people want to play it off like the cops just broke into her house and shot her while she was sleeping. Her boyfriend had admitted that he shot through the door at the police and they returned fire. She was shot, but magically he wasn't. So what they're saying now is he used her as a human shield. Maybe he was afraid. Maybe he's the one responsible for the body that was in the car, and he didn't want to go to. He thought they were coming to get him take him to prison for murder. So he grabbed her and put her in. He was going to use her as a hostage. What you're seeing now is just ridiculous. They are handing the country over to criminals. Do you understand this? What's going on now, because no one will come out and say, bullshit, you ain't doing that. Bullshit, this is the true story. CBS, CNN, you're not going to run that bullshit. You're going to show the whole story. Instead of painting people who tell the whole story as some kind of racist. What's going on now is going to affect America, whether you're black, white, brown, pink with polka dots, whatever it is, for the worse. For the worse. Encouraging lawlessness to get votes, covering up lawlessness, just gleaming it over, however, it's just unfathomable what people are doing with a straight face. It is absolutely unreal. The glorification of people who resist arrest, assault police officers, kill police officers, the demonization of police. You can see what's led to. Them cops were shot down in LA. And protesters showed up out there saying stuff they hope they died. This is the mentality, CBS, CNN, that you are instilling in people. You're encouraging them. Oh, this is a movement. It's just unreal. Absolutely unreal. You know, it's just amazing. You know, if George Floyd hadn't done a bunch of drugs that day and hadn't been up there passing counterfeit bills, he'd still be alive. If he hadn't been a career criminal, he'd still be alive. Was that cop wrong for what he... Yeah, cop was wrong what he did. But it never would have happened if George Floyd hadn't been a criminal, hadn't done a bunch of drugs, and then resisted arrest, refused to get in the car. And I still think, you know, we're not being told the whole thing. I'd like to know how much fentanyl and methamphetamine was in his system, and if that was enough to kill him. But to watch on, you know, it's bad enough CNN, but you turn and you see CBS, and it's bad enough MSNBC, but then you turn on CBS, and you see they're like number one anchor, Nora, what's her name, doing a promo exalting George Floyd, the man's death who started a movement. Absolutely astonishing. Millions upon millions upon millions of people in this country, of every race, every color, go through their lives and never have an altercation with police. Why? Because they don't engage themselves in drugs and criminal behavior. They might get a speeding ticket, something, parking ticket, maybe not even that. Millions of them never ever have an altercation with the police. And there are millions of police interactions every day through speeding tickets, etc., like that. But the majority of people in this country never have an interaction with the police. Never. Because they're not involving themselves in bullshit that they shouldn't be involved in. But you want to pander to the group that is having altercations with police, that are involved with criminal activity. And you're setting a precedent. All those of you on the left and in the news media, you're setting a very dangerous precedent. You're putting it out there that people can get away with what they want, and if they don't get away with it and something bad happens, that they're, you know, going to be able to sue or what have you. Just it's and the precedent that you're portraying out there is that society's on their side, or at least a bunch of you're on their side. You can sympathize, you can emote, you can understand, you're down with the cause. You're a bunch of idiots. And the only reason you're doing it is because you think it's going to win you an election. That's how, if it wasn't so sad, it would be hysterical. If it wasn't so tragic, I mean, how, you know, what a comic, a belief. You know, how comical it is. You know, it's like um, you know, if you had a bear attacking Bambi and ripping Bambi apart, and you were taking that side of the cause. We understand the bear. We understand the bear's emotions. We sympathize with the bear and gloss over the violence. It's just a peaceful interaction between the bear and Bambi. That's how comical it is. How absolutely comical it is. You gotta ask yourself, what planet or dimension do these people live in that they can't separate reality or recognize reality over their elitist, apparently sheltered lives that they've lived. Not one time during all this have you seen any videos or anything of any interactions with white people that have gone bad. Now, that's either saying even white criminals have respect for police officers and willfully go without resisting arrest, or you're just not showing the bad interactions. Which I'm sure, like the other bad interactions, would be because the person is resisting arrest and assaulting the officer, not because the officer is out to do somebody harm. It's just absolutely amazing that you're going on with this bullshit that there was just even a promo for Joe Biden where there's Nora, whatever her name, from CBS asked Joe Biden if he thinks there's a systemic racism in the police departments, and he says yes. And you have people actually, I mean, that's how much they're pandering to this group of people. And you know why it doesn't bother them to do this? Because they'll never be touched by it, by the ramifications. Them and their families will never be touched by it or affected by it. In their sheltered little enclaves and circles that they run in. They will never have to deal with life on the street in the cities. They will never deal with being white in some of these cities, being of working or poor class, and dealing with assaults on their person. And feel the anger and the violence going in the other direction. And the racism going in the other direction. They will never have their homes invaded. They will never have their cars stolen. They will never be assaulted or robbed. They will never deal with the ramifications of what they are doing. Never. They're too busy flying around to different places all around the world and in the country, going on vacations, going shopping, spending thousands of dollars on bullshit they don't need, and flapping their gums and pointing their finger at everybody else, calling them racist so they can get voted into office. And they will never ever deal with the ramifications of what the police or the people in these communities are going to have to deal with because of the glorification of criminals into martyrs. They're not going to deal with mobs outside their homes and then, be called all kinds and have prosecutors try and prosecute them because they defended their homes. It's absolutely shameful what Joe Biden, the news media on the left, all the leftist politicians are doing. Absolutely shameful. They will not ever deal with it. Ever. Will they ever deal with the precedents that they are setting for the rest of us to have to deal with from generation to generation. And it might flip back on them. Because if you're not going to let the police do their jobs, and it's apparent you're already trying to make people be afraid to defend themselves, that's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. Just like they can try and make an example out of Kyle Rittenhouse who went to defend somebody's property. Didn't go to kill anybody, just wanted to be there as a presence of deterrence. Because this person already had like 2 businesses burned. He asked for help to protect his remaining building and business that wasn't burned down. And some people showed up. Kyle Rittenhouse was one of them there to protect the business. And then was attacked. And he defended himself. And now you see they have him up on charges. The absolute perversion of law and order in order to satisfy your own political ambitions is absolutely shameful. It is absolutely shameful. And it's not going unnoticed by the majority of America. It is not going unnoticed. And if you're going to try and do that, you're going to put bullshit prosecutors and DAs and judges and stuff in who are going to try and criminalize people for defending their families and their businesses and their persons because you won't let the police do their jobs. You've got another thing coming. You have got another thing coming, because that is not going to last very long at all. You're not going to intimidate this whole nation into being afraid and cowardice of standing up for themselves because some pathetic political party is trying to bully its way into office. You're not going to get away with it. All right, everyone. This one was, sorry, I'm going off on a tear there. This one was supposed to be about taxes, but I just saw that stuff on the news, and I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. How glossy and the fake narrative that they put out there, or what this all is. You know, it's a movement. It's change. And we're all being a part of it. It's all feely good. It's all, yep. While cops are being shot, while businesses are being burned, people are being assaulted. It's absolutely amazing. There's got to be a word for it. But, I'm thinking, like the emperor's clothes, or something. This is like these people are standing in their own homes and it's falling down around them or burning or something, or people are knocking it down and they're just going, oh, no, it's not bad. It's just remodeling. I don't know how. Are they that out of touch? Is there something wrong with them that they didn't get to take part in the real civil rights movement in the 50s and the 60s and stuff? Is there some part of them who just trying to relive it or be a part of that and really have no issues that are big enough, and so they're fabricating them so they can feel good about themselves, like, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that they're so blinded to what is actually going on. The dirty snowball that they've started rolling down the mountain, that they think is puppies and freaking rainbows, that they're doing something, and they're actually pushing something that's very wrong. This is like a drug dealer pushing fentanyl, trying to tell people, no, it's candy, it's good for you. Or meth, no, it's good for you. I mean, that's how absurd it is. That's how absolutely absurd it is. And they're already doing that with marijuana. No, it's all good for you. It's all been... No, plenty of people turned out to be waste cases. Plenty of them. They want to tell you marijuana is not going to affect you later in life. Anything that affects, whether it's alcohol or drugs, doesn't matter what it is. Anything that affects your state of being and interrupts your natural, normal brain function is going to have an effect on you sooner or later. Or with alcohol and stuff, your kidneys, your liver, whatever. Cigarette smoking, your lungs and stuff, your heart. Marijuana is going to affect your brain and your lungs. So it's just, hey, and it's part of, and it's going along with their whole this delusional reality. No, you're not a boy or girl because of your anatomy. That doesn't make you a boy or girl. It's how you feel. It's whatever you want to decide that you are. Makes you a male or a female. Has nothing to do with your genitalia. They're applying that same screwed logic to everything else. Can anybody else see that? They're applying that whole screwed logic to everything else. And these quacks that come out of these universities with their PhDs and stuff and say, oh no, this is the way it is. And it's like, no, it's not. Holy mackerel. They're applying that same delusional bullshit to everything else. No, this isn't a criminal assaulting a police officer who's trying to stop him from dealing drugs that can hurt your family, hurt your neighborhood. This isn't a police officer trying to do good and get the guy off the streets. This is a cop hunting somebody down. It's absolutely amazing. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. I can't, and these news, CBS now too, MSNBC, CBS, CNN, even stuff ABC late at night, all jump on the bandwagon. Well, what are those people doing? Well, we got to do the same. They have a story on what? We got to do a story, whether they believe it or not. It's absolutely amazing. Anyway, next one will be about taxes and the way Congress has really been ripping us off, and how we have to stop it, and the ways that we can stop it, and quit having them steal our lives from out from under us, and take what we earn and give it to other people who actually don't give a damn about themselves, their families, their countries, anything. A lot of them. So they just want what you have, and don't want to have to go through the process of working to get it. There's a lot of them out there. Yes, there are people who definitely need help, and there's ways we can do that and make sure people who definitely need help, who are disabled and veterans, and children who've been abandoned by their parents or whatever have you, the real destitute, and people who are suffering because of no fault of their own. But every able-bodied person out there who can function and doesn't go out and take care of themselves and their family, and involves themselves in drugs and this and that, there's no reason we should, as a society, feel some kind of guilt if we don't take care of them. It's just not how it ought to be. You're weakening people's minds, and you're weakening the nation. And you're causing people to have bad character and weak character. Anyway, wish you all the best out there. God bless. We'll see you on the next one. Adios.